Vegas, baby. Vegas. We are back in the Red Rock area. There's where Calico Tanks and Red Cap and some other stuff are, but over there is gonna be, I think the pointy one might be Rainbow, maybe the next one, Rainbow Mountain. Of course, there's Bridge Mountain and Mount Wilson, which I have videos on. I believe this is Rainbow, and we're going right up. This is Oak Creek Canyon, and that's the parking we're at. So you just go straight up this and then eventually bend right around the backside and get up on the ridge. It is like 4 miles each way with over 3,000 foot of gain. And just similar to what's, I think it's going to be very similar to Bridge Mountain, which, or sorry, Wilson Mountain rather. Not similar to Bridge. It's going to be similar to Wilson. I think this is Wilson here next to it to the left. And over there I think that's Bridge, which I have a good video on. I really like Bridge. So just going straight up this canyon. And then I read some of the comments, the last couple comments. Neither party or neither person made it to the summit. One of them said they thought they were going to die and needed a rope. So this could get a little interesting, I suppose. All right, so we've come about a mile, relatively flat, only gone up a couple 100 feet. But we're starting to get funneled in here. So we have to follow this canyon up. Once you get up a little bit, there's kind of use paths all over the place. So I don't think it matters much which one you follow. I've been sort of staying high the whole time. Actually, for right now, at least looks like easier walking with some cool boulder obstacles, which obviously I'm all about. So, yeah. So we probably have, I don't know, a little less than 3 miles, 2.75 to the summit, but probably like a good 2,800 foot of gain. So this is going to be steep the whole way, and probably quite a lot of boulder hopping, at least when we're down in the drainage, and maybe some puzzles, some boulder problems we have to solve. So heading up, at some point we're branching right, but that's still a while from now. So this is going to be pretty fun for some people. You gotta find your way up all these boulders, and sometimes, like right there, see, I don't even know how I want to step up here. Yeah, there we go. You gotta sort of poke around and figure out some way. There's some sections that could be challenging if you don't pick the right way up. So this would be fun for kids to play around, somewhat older, say at least 8 to 10 years old. Well, sporadically we see cairns, which is nice, but I mean, you're just walking up a drainage, so you can't really get lost, assuming you pick the right fork. But there are definitely some fun obstacles to figure out. Nothing super challenging, but there are a couple times where it's like sort of like a class 5, like 10-foot section, and you gotta bypass it to the right or the left. Just a lot of big rocks and a lot of big steps up, and a lot of times there aren't good holds necessarily either. So like here, like there's no good way to step up, and my arms aren't wide enough apart to do a regular dip. Like that was a pretty hard step for me to get up. So anyway, slow mileage for sure, but fun. I would call this definitely fun so far, but we have a long way to go up. You can see the ridge up there, and then the summit's way above. So we're in the drainage for quite a while. You can see it's pretty easy walking, just a lot of boulders. Now here is the first like legit sort of smoother section. So continuing up, like I said, still have a long way just to follow the drainage before we even branch out of it. But yeah, it's good practice this, like with your stemming skills and opposing forces and stuff, but nothing too challenging. I feel like this could be a little sketch. Yeah, my shoes aren't good for this. This is where you want real sticky rubber. I think I'm okay here. See, now it's just like a blank canvas and it's slick. I'm on a ledge. This is just real slick. You can see the water markings. And if I go over there, I'm getting into water. So I think I just want a quick, okay, I'm up. I was basically on the verge of slipping, so I don't know if I want to be down in there. I want to be up here. Probably doesn't matter, but you know, still have a long way to go up. But pretty cool scenery, pretty cool canyon. Well, we've kind of emerged to this. Pretty cool. And the water's all disappearing into the ground. That's cool. I don't think this is too steep or slick, but it potentially could be. And we might have to get up there. It does look pretty steep in some parts. Maybe I'll try to cut. Whoop. It's just slick too. It's so smooth. Yes, this is like very smooth. I just need to get up like one step, it looks like. Yeah, okay. Now there's more like ledges. Still real slick though. So take care. I guess it'll be easier to crab walk down. We're still going. It got a little hairy there down in the drainage, but which way around this rock? I'm gonna go right. So yeah, not a ton longer. Well, actually no. At some point up here we bend left, but we're still in the drainage proper. So still a while before we leave the drainage to climb up onto the actual rock ridge. So I'm gonna step up over here just because I saw these nice looking steps. But yeah, very pretty up here, and it's looking ahead. Could be more challenging too. I must say, this is pretty cool. There are all these pools of water, and honestly, coming through this moss, and it might be coming through rock, could be good to straight drink. I mean, I'm just looking at it dripping straight out. I mean, it's probably flowing down rock, but pretty cool. I would absolutely filter this and drink it. Yeah, I think things will be a little quicker when we get out of the drainage, hopefully. I just don't know what it's going to be like. Are we going to be going up sand? Are we going to be on slick rock? Is it going to be bushwhacking? I don't know. On the way down, see, I'll just jump down that. But for now, we are just following the water up. You can see at least we're on the black wall now. So we're definitely getting higher, but there's just formations that are still way above us. So I'd venture we're only like 1,500 feet of our 3,100 or 1,600 feet of our 3,100 up. That's just my guesstimate. At least it's been fun and scenic. So I'd highly recommend this if you're into this. Just this isn't for everyone. This has just gotten really cool up in the side drainage. You have all these nice bare slick rock slopes with the water flowing down, and it's steep, but it's not too steep to be sketchy. It's just steep to be a really burn. But somewhere up here, we are gonna bend right, like before those white cliffs. So yeah, we are making, I love just seeing this water. I just want to drink it so badly, but that's not a smart idea. Yeah, this is pretty epic. I don't think I'm gonna like it as much as Bridge Mountain just because of the scrambling, but this is just so picturesque. Look at this water at the pools, and we're on rock. And now, so we hit this next nose, and here we're cutting right at this next junction. And we're not in this for too long. And then eventually we leave, you know, all semblances of drainages and go up this rock or hillside to our right. All right, so I think the time has come. We've just branched out of the drainage. There's no special big cairn or anything, but I'm just going by the GPS track. I mean, you could really walk up any way you wanted. I was gonna follow this side drainage, but you could walk up on the rib. We just need to get up to the ridge. We've come up quite a bit from the drainage, and you could go straight to the saddle, but I'm attempting to cut it off here, which is what the track does too. So I'm aiming for this formation. All right, epic views commence. Which one? I think that far one's the summit. Maybe not. Maybe it's higher over there. So we're just gonna walk up right to that tree, and that'll be kind of the ridge proper here. But so who knows, maybe we weren't seeing our summit yet, but we're seeing some higher points that are around the summit at a bare minimum. So this is gonna be steep again, but at least it's easy walking for the most part. Yeah. All right, we're up the ramp right to that tree, and there's a mega cairn. Whoa, now what? That's Bridge right there. Nice. So I'm assuming we sort of continue on the ridge, but honestly, I'm not sure. All right, so you want to gain this first hump, which I've more or less done, but that is not your summit. It's over there. So I guess it's the far one. So you can see we have a while to go still, which once you get up here on the ridges, I guess it's easier walking, but you still do have some distance to cover. So I think we branch to the right. Can we even get down here? Did I just completely screw myself over? Quite possibly. Maybe there's a way down over here. Let's hope. Please? Please? Uh-oh. All right, we could be in trouble here. We might have to drop back down. But I think that far one is your summit, but I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so update. I should not have been on top of there. The GPS track was on top of there, so I don't know. These faulty GPS tracks are very annoying, because I was just sort of blindly following it. So there's a cairn here. Look at that. What do you know? So it looks like what I should have done is when I popped up to the ridge, I wanted to pop down right on the other side. I just didn't see that cairn and I looked at the GPS track I had and it said go up. I think this first summit is Rainbow Wall, and then Rainbow Mountain is the one I showed you off to the right. And I think there's a Rainbow Peak too. So there's all sorts of little bumps. Yeah, here's a cairn. So let's just try to stick to cairns. Maybe that should be the strategy here. So either that or potentially a higher point beyond was where I was, and I was like, I can't get down this. So yeah, nice job, All Trails. You have a route leading right off a Class 5 wall. Okay, so we're sort of at a critical junction. We dropped a little bit. We hit these trees. If you go up on that slick rock, that's Rainbow Wall. according to Stav, if you go through the trees to the right of this drainage, and presumably start going up, but honestly not sure, that's gonna take you to, apparently what Stav says, there's Rainbow Mountain and there's Rainbow Peak. Haha. Okay. So now we have a view of multiple humps, which both, well, the first one looks easy enough to get up. So maybe the first one is Rainbow Mountain and the second one is Rainbow Peak. All right, so there is another hump here, which we've bypassed. So there's all sorts of humps if you want to just summit bag. All right, I guess I was on top of that other hump earlier, but we're on top of some hump, which may be Rainbow Mountain and that may be Rainbow Peak. And that's Rainbow Wall, which kind of makes sense with the colors on the wall. So it's a pretty cool wall. So yeah, we are, so there's your trees, there's where you go up, so that will be easy to bag. This does have a little distance to it, so I'll take a picture here, but then I'm gonna need to get going, drop, and I don't know if we wrap around to the left. I should probably investigate that, which way we get up the final pitch, or pitches. All right, well, here's where things could get tricky. I could continue on the ridge. There's a cairn there, which I don't know. So I've researched. I stopped on that summit and researched the Stav. Yeah, this isn't going to be easy to get up, I don't think, down and up. So, cairn here. So somewhere, cairn there. Okay, so at least I'm seeing cairns. So that's a good sign for the way up too. But anyway, so far so good. Yeah, there are more cairns below. Somewhat exposed here. But there's a cairn all over the place. So basically, we just need to head down, and it looks a little more contained that way. This is sort of an exposed arete, although yeah, this should be fine to just lower myself down. So yeah, so far so good, but we still do have quite a bit to drop, and there's some sort of crux, chimney crack type thing. So this rock is just a little slick with the sand and stuff, so we just want to be careful. But it looks like we're gonna bend this way, and at some point hit a crack or a chimney that's sort of the crux of the route, which we may or may not be getting close to. So yeah, you could head down by this brush if you want to be more contained, I suppose, or you could just go straight off. I just want to be careful here. Yeah, maybe I'll go over there. Okay, we're at another cairn. I don't see the next one, so I don't know if we need to drop this way or this way. I'm just gonna feel it out here. This might be the crack in the picture. Come on, give me a cairn. There is a cairn down there. Oh yeah. So you can expose, get over there, or there's a crack here. Yeah, this definitely isn't completely trivial, as I like to say. Yeah, I just need to be careful here, because there is quite a drop right here. So what I want to do, I think, is swing right here over. I just I don't know if my feet are in the opposite position. Okay. All right. Sort of an exposed move there, but then you can either go down here or this chimney, which it honestly looks a little easier to me right here. I just got to remember to get up. Actually, now this is somewhat challenging right here too. So yeah, this is not easy. Definitely sort of the crux here. I don't see myself having difficulty getting back up this, luckily, but yeah, not super straightforward. Not super straightforward at all. It just looks like there's some nice steps in the rock that I'm gonna be able to use. So, I don't know, completely get stuck in here, but should be okay. But yeah, this actually isn't easy at all. Not easy at all to get up and down this. You could just get down all the way, but then you might get stuck. So, luckily this rock isn't moving. Okay, so I've dropped my pack down. So I literally dropped it on purpose. So now I need to get down. And it's just not. See, now I can at least fit. Man, this is tight. This is incredibly tight. Too big. Man, that's a crux. Maybe I should have just gone up or down over there. Yeah, you know what? I probably should just climb up that way instead of this stupid chimney. Anyway, all right, I'm safe. But we're not done yet. All right, we are officially down. Now, I have no idea. That looks like a cairn up there. It's just hard to tell. I don't know how we want to get up, and it's not obvious from the map or from Stav's pictures which way to go. So I've hit the notch. There was sort of your cruxy section right there. Yeah, we'll be able to figure it out on the way back up. So I don't know if I should just start walking up and hope for the best. Yeah, why not? We'll figure it out. I could see there being some navigation issues here too, but we're gonna try. All right, so I just walked straight up the slabs to start and then wrapped around this little formation to the left, and there's kind of a use path, but then I picked up a couple cairns. They're just telling me sort of to get up now. So see right here. So I think this is going to be pretty easy, but you never know. Assume I now got to cut up this crack to my right. All right, so we're kind of up, but I think our summit's over here, maybe. Not sure what the high point is. I think we're about there. Yeah, this last part from the notch was pretty easy getting up. Just steep class 2. No chimneys or exposure. Yep. I think it's probably that. So we're gonna have to drop again, well, just in case. Let's hit this. Boom. I mean, that'll look out over the valley, but this could be higher. There's Rainbow Wall. So let's get over here. Let's just bag every bump we can. This will be quicker getting back, I think, but still, it's gonna take a while. Probably shouldn't have jumped that, but it's all good. All right, Rainbow, Mountain, Peak, both. Oh, and you can just keep going out further and further. Nice. So there's Wilson. There's Bridge. There's Rainbow Wall. That is quite a vertical. It is quite a vertical wall. And we got a summit too. So yeah, pretty epic up here. But yeah, look at that. It's pretty epic. Probably that's where like Honnold climbs a lot and stuff. For sure. Although I'm sure the routes are easy for him. All right, so the chimney's right around the corner here. I think I'm gonna go up this way although there will be some exposure, so I'm gonna feel it out, see how it feels. It looks okay from below, but just this rock can be a little slippy, that's all. There's a nice ledge here and a nice ledge here, which makes me feel okay. But this is sort of the exposed move without, there's not really handholds. And that is kind of the, if I lurch up here, I don't want to be jumping out. It's actually not trivial. It looks easy, and it even looks easy to me right here, but it's not. I don't know how else to, I have nowhere to put my hands. I don't want to like get my wrist stuck in here or break it. I mean, maybe it's like right here. Yeah, that's a little awkward. This isn't easy. Now I have a crack at least. But then you gotta go up this crack, I think. Oh, so I was here. Here's the chimney. Okay, so I just got above the chimney. So that's good. Oh, this was the exposed move. So I'm either taking the crack or the exposed move. See, I just don't like, because this, your feet can slip off this pretty easily. So I don't like that. You just don't have great hands here. They're okay. This is actually okay what I have here. It's just my feet aren't really stable, and I don't like that, and I can't step that far. So I don't like that at all. I would like that rock to be higher. I did step across here before. I just wish I had better feet. I do have good hands here, but if my feet were to slip, my hands are gripped kind of the wrong direction. So that's kind of the, like that. Like if I put my full weight on that, I don't think that's a good idea. So I could just get my foot all the way. I'm almost there. Got it. Okay, I just needed to trust, I just needed to commit. But yeah, not the easiest thing in the world, so that's the crux. That's definitely the crux of the route. And now I think it should be pretty easy getting up the rest of the way. So yeah, sorry that took a while. Obviously my safety needs to take priority here. So yeah, getting back up here, you know, it's not easy to climb up all this stuff either, necessarily, but we'll get there. All right, we're back to the saddle through the trees, so I think we're gonna walk up a rainbow wall now, because when in Rome, so what the best route is up here, I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna go straight up. I anticipate this being pretty easy to walk up. There were a couple cairns low, but now I'm just on this like white sidewalk. And I mean, you could get up, or maybe you could shortcut the ridge, but more or less, I think as long as you're going up, you're gonna be fine. So yeah, so I was on top of that, and that, I guess technically not that. Oh well. Sorry, red bump. You don't look exciting enough. Alright, we summited the red part, but now we have to drop and get over to the higher part, which is the white part. So, I mean, this detour all in is maybe 10 minutes each way. It's not a lot. It's probably only been 5 minutes so far, and I feel like I'm halfway over there. So just have this little baby drop, and then hopefully should be an easy walk up the white. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but you never know. So which way do I want to go? Do I want to be up on this ridge? Oh, the answer's no. because I'd probably get cliffed out. Well, there might be a way down. Now that, can I get down this way is the answer. I might be able to get down that way. I'm not sure. So we've come up the white portion, which is kind of yellow as well. And this appears to be the high point of Rainbow Wall. Oh, and there's a registry, but I think this drops off. So there's our, well, there was our higher bump that we were on. There was maybe the low bump we were on. And then we were on that one too, but that almost looks trivial at this point. So I think it, I mean, maybe not, maybe it's like easy class 5 stuff. I mean, not that I'm climbing up or down it, but for like a seasoned rock climber, maybe the Rainbow Wall is like pretty good climb. Yeah, it gets a little vertical all the way down to that drainage. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so this is like the Rainbow Cirque kind of. So Chris had this GPX he gave me where he summited all this stuff, and a different rally came up this way, I think, not up Oak Creek. Not sure. I think he came up this drainage and then branched left. It looks like you could go right up. See that vegetated like ramp? That actually looks like a pretty easy direct way, to be honest, rather than what I did to get up to Rainbow Peak. So yeah, I think that's what he did. I think he came up, went up that exposed slick rock, and then cut up that ramp you see right there. And that looks like basic, you know, class 3 maybe to the summit, steep class 2, maybe some class 3 moves. So bridge looks nice and plump over there. So yeah, standing on the edge of Rainbow Wall. Wilson, Rainbow Peak, Rainbow Mountain out of sight, Rainbow Wall I'm on, Bridge Mountain. And Charleston, maybe? Much higher than this. Alright, so we're about to drop down the ramp here by this tree. So when you get up here, you don't want to go up that. You want to skirt around to the left. And that's obvious if you do other research, but I just had the Ultra track and it goes right up on the ridge and then you're stuck. So just FYI, it's cairned kind of around the left. And then it's cairned here. This is this big ramp. And then we'll bomb down the yellowy rock all the way to our drainage, which goes to another drainage, which goes to another drainage, which leads to lots of boulders, which is going to take a long time, but I'm confident we'll get it done. All right, so we're basically back to the drainage, and now we just have a nice slog through the drainage for a long way, all the way back until it spits us out, and then a mile flat or so to the car. So this is going to be a long you know, 2.5 to 3 miles. And I should probably just get down in it right now. Just working our way down this really smooth, steep slick rock. My shoes sound like cheese curds on it. So yeah, I just slipped right before I turned on the camera. But anyway, we're starting to at least see out, but it's a long way. It's definitely a long way. We're not even into like the boulder section. We're gonna hit up there, we'll hit another junction, and after that junction is where it'll get more bouldery below. But this is kind of the exposed slick rock section up higher. So we're getting there slowly but surely, and probably gonna slip here. Well, we're at the next major canyon junction. If you watch all my videos, I believe it was the Signal and 10U or 10U peak video, I talked about my theory about the drainages on the way down, which is obviously true. I talked about on the way down, you don't have to worry about trying to navigate because you're just going down. They all go together into the same one. But going up, they split up. Well, we're in the middle of the long boulder slog, but miraculously we're in the shade for some of this, which is nice. But it's hot, a little more stagnant down here. But after my Gannett Peak adventure, I think I have a much higher tolerance for boulders. And these are like big, like river boulders. These aren't like just walking across a boulder field, you know what I mean? So this is a little more interesting, I think, to do this stuff. So it's just an exercise in how quickly you can step down and jump down and lower yourself down, what have you. But we're definitely moving quicker. I've gotten a couple scratches. One of them looks pretty deep. Yeah, whatever. I'm out. So just FYI, when you come out, if you miss it, you can continue in the wash. I continued in the wash further. It's probably a little slower, but it was not the point that I dumped into it. I was on one of these trails for longer, which, yeah, that one probably, which is gonna be easier. So make a note or look at your map to see where you join the wash if you wanna do the same thing on the way out. I mean, it might've cost me a couple minutes, but not a big deal. But at least I'm on a nice trail now and probably have a mile or so, maybe less than a mile left. I am so parched, which happens to me a lot, but I do know my body, so I'm not worried. But this isn't a hike for for beginners or intermediates. I would say this is an expert level hike. There's Rainbow Wall, there's Rainbow Peak, there's Bridge, there's Wilson. Yeah, that's a tough one. Ow. Just like stubbed my toe on a rock. So yeah, that's like right on 6 hours even. Barely any jogging, maybe just at the very end. But yeah, classic. That cirque there with all the rainbow peaks. So Rainbow Peak, mountain, and wall. And I need fluid badly.